Hello chefs, Miss Molly here. Sure miss cooking with you in the kitchen and seeing you on campus. But your kitchen teachers are going to bring the Edible Square to you now. So you get to be a part of making recipes and participating in activities straight from your home. So our recipe today that we're making in Miss Molly's kitchen is vegetable stock. I know a lot of you have probably bought this at the store or even beef stock. Vegetable stock, very simple to make. A lot of people haven't really made it from scratch though, and it's definitely a recipe that I think in these unique times is good because I know we're trying to limit our trips to the grocery store, and this is a recipe that is pretty bulletproof or is something that you can't really mess up on. So you can use a lot of scraps and utilize a lot of what you probably already have in your refrigerator or freezer or pantry, herbs and spices, as well as vegetables and produce. So anything that is starting to wilt or maybe starting to turn a little darker green, like the chive. This garlic is definitely dry. It has not started to rot or anything yet, so it's perfectly fine and gonna give a lot of flavor, but that's something I can throw in. I have a couple of halves of onion. I also have a little sweet potato and then some celery too. So I'm gonna use the celery tops as well as the ribs. And then I also have some mushroom. This is really random and most of you probably don't have this in your kitchen. I normally wouldn't, but these are dried mushrooms that I used for a Brussels sprout recipe. All right, so I've loosely chopped the vegetables. They do not need to be uniform or in the same shape. Really, you're just thinking about throwing this all in just to add flavor. The carrots do not need to be peeled. That's just kind of adding more time for you. Herbs and spices, I am really just going to add a little bit of black peppercorn, the whole black peppercorn. I believe about that much. And a little bit of salt. So the other beauty with making your own vegetable stock is the fact that you can control how much salt is going into this. And a lot of times you'll find that soups, because they start with a vegetable stock or a beef stock, might be really high in sodium, which obviously sodium is good for you, salt is needed, but having a lot of sodium is not the best. So having kind of more of a balanced groups of herbs and spices as well as salt makes for a vegetable stock that's going to be just that much better for you. I'm going to add some crushed red pepper depending on how spicy you like your food. I like mine pretty spicy. I wanted to take you guys out to my yard, and I have a poor excuse for an herb garden. Hopefully we'll make that happen soon, but right now I just wanted to pick a little bit of bay leaf and some rosemary to add to our vegetable stock too. Alright, so all the ingredients have been added to our water that already came to a boil, but now I've turned it down, and maybe you scholars can answer what the water is doing right now. What is it called? It's not a boil. If you guessed simmering, you are correct. So it's simmering. We're going to leave it simmering for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and it's going to be reduced by about half. All right, once the stock has reduced by about half, you're going to strain it. Once it's strained, I went ahead and added it to a Ziploc bag because I'm going to go ahead and freeze this. This was a little trick I learned, to just put a Ziploc bag in a pitcher. It's a little easier. Don't forget to tune in live on Facebook tomorrow from 4:15 to 5 for our family cooking class. We'll be using this exact soup stock to make a really yummy Mexican lime soup. See you then.